Hi, welcome to the overview session on the platform services for SAP Analytics Cloud. My name is Karthik, and I work as one of the product managers for SAP Analytics Cloud, and I've been primarily focusing on building the different platform services. Let's take a look at the agenda, what we have for today. Today, we'll be covering up the different commenting and the collaboration services under the platform services, what we have. Along with that, we'll also be taking a look at the scheduling publications, which is newly introduced starting 2020 Q2 QRC, and as well as we'll take a look at the different multilingual support offerings, what we have. The last would be the demo, which would be an intense demo on all of these three features, what we have with SAP Analytics Cloud. Let's begin with the platform services. Platform services starts with the commenting and the collaboration services all across what we have with SAP Analytics Cloud. With the commenting and the collaboration services in place, you can have data point comments to be available and getting noted into a table in the most granular form. We also do have visualization widget comments and as well as the comment widget, which is newly introduced. We also do have the discussions panel, which is primarily used for having a chat conversations between your SAP Analytics Cloud team members. We'll take a more deeper look when we move on with the next slides. And let's start with the scheduling publications, what we have. Scheduling publications is all about scheduling your analytics application and the stories, what you have. You can schedule it to your recipients over an email. You can send personalized copies of this story and the analytics application and send it all to your recipients over an email. And then we have the multilingual support, which helps you for a geographic wide engagement of user base all across, wherein each of your recipients or the users would be able to receive the content in their own language when they view the content online. Let's start with the commenting service. The first of the commenting service, what we want to introduce is the widget comments. Widget comments are completely context-free comments, and you can add these comments on any of the visualization widgets what you have within your story or the analytics application. An example would be you can add a comment right on a chart or on a table, just selecting the specific visualization widget and then add a comment. These comments are available to all of your users who have access to the story, which also means that it becomes very easy for your users to interact between each other by adding their comments, what they see as part of their insights. Then we have a data point comments. With data point comments, we have one of the most granular comments which we can add as part of your table cell level. This is available for the acquired data models at this point in time. These comments are context-based comments, which means these are going to react to the different filter combinations, the different point of view, what your users are going to see, which also means that they are completely personalized to the views what each of your recipients have access to the specific data view what they currently see. And then we recently introduced the comment widget. The comment widget was introduced very recently with the Q3 QRC in 2020 cycle. And this comment widget is going to help your story and the analytics application viewers to have it available right on your pages, always visible. The comments which can be placed as part of the comment widgets are context-based, and they would be reacting to the different filters available within your stories. Filters like the story filters or the page filters, which pretty much reacting to the comments which are available within the comment widget. And then let's move on with the discussions panel. With the discussions panel in place, you can have a discussion including multiple different team members within your SAP Analytics Cloud's user base and then initiate a discussion. As part of a discussion, you can not only include users, but you can as well include teams. There are many advantages when you include a team and go through your discussion. One other thing would be you may not know all of your team members who are available as part of the team, and you can very quickly introduce one group as a team within your discussion and start initiating. And the other advantage is like when users move between the teams, like going in and out, it becomes a lot more easier for your discussions to be managed, because automatically in the back end, the users would be taken care who are available and who are not. As part of your discussions panel, you can as well include the link for the story based on what you would like to have a discussion. And not only that, you can also create a task or a process attached to it. And as well as you can also add certain attachments. The discussions panel and as well as the commenting services, what we have at this point in time, you can have a tenant level administration, which means you can decide at the tenant level who are your users who are going to make use of these services. If you enable and disable for certain group of people, those are the people in your organization who will be able to take the advantage of this. A typical example is there are many times when a story is shared between management and as well as with sales. And you may not want your sales managers to be a part of your commenting services or a part of the discussions panel, and that can be managed with the teams. Or moving with the subsequent releases, we are also planning to introduce the rights at the story or the analytics application level as well. We introduced scheduling publications with 2020 Q2 QRC release. With scheduling publications, you can schedule a story or an analytics application and deliver it to all your recipients over an email as an attachment. The attachment of your stories or analytics application is going to be of the format of PDF. With Q3 QRC, we introduced PowerPoint presentation as well. And sorry, with Q4, we introduced the PowerPoint presentation. And for the fast track tenants, it was available starting the Q3 timelines. With scheduling publications, you can schedule a story or an analytics application on an hourly, daily, or a weekly basis, which would help your recipients receive this content on a timely basis. We do support a level of personalization as well on top of these scheduling publication services. Like the same story can be sent to different groups of recipients with adding certain filters. We leverage the concept of bookmarks, and we'll see that later in the next slide. As part of scheduling publications, there are different use cases which can be addressed. And I think with the current release, what we have, we support the single pass, which is available, wherein like you can actually create a publication out of a story and send it to all of your recipients. We also do support personalization of the same stories and send it to multiple different groups of recipients as well. And we call it as multi-passes per batch. This is as well already available in the product. We leverage the concept of bookmarks, which is already available with SAP Analytics Cloud. We also do leverage the concept of prompts, which are available. With the combination of prompts and the bookmarks, you can target the same story or the analytics application to different groups of recipients whom you have in your SAC user base. There's also another interesting use case, which we call it as multi-passes per recipient, wherein like each of your recipients would be receiving the copies of the publications with their rights as well managed on top of the data. We can also call it as bursting scenario. This is something which we are planning to do, and this is a part of our product plan for 2021. Let's take a look at the multilingual support, what we have for with the platform services. With multilingual support, you can set languages for different users on their own by setting up these settings under your profile settings. Multilingual support can be offered under two broad categories. One, we call it as product level translation, wherein any auto-generated text by SAP Analytics Cloud, be it the application menus or be it the auto-generated text out of visualization when you add dimension and member. So all of this, we call it as product translation. There's also another category of translation, we call it as the user content translation. As part of user content translation, you can translate the user text inputted within a story or an analytics application, and as well as if it is connected to a live connected data source like BW or HANA, you may have the data which is already translated as part of a data source, and that as well you can translate. As it's a platform services, we have as well extended the same level of translation services to our analytics hub as well. And as well as analytics catalog leverages the same within SAC. Also, yeah, translation is can be performed by an exclusive role in your organization, typically called as translators. But this is super easy for any business user as well to translate your stories on their own. Now, there are two ways we do support the translation. One is an easier way, wherein like we provide a translation panel wherein you can directly go and input the relevant translation content for the different input story input user input strings what you have, which can be translated by any business user. But at times your translation needs might be a lot more higher. An example could be you might need to translate hundreds of stories together, and you might require a professional translator in your organization. And for the same, we do support the standard called as XLIF standards, wherein you can extract the XLIF files out of your stories or analytics application and then give it to your translators so that they can translate the content in any professional translation tool. And then once translated in multiple different languages, they can bring that back within SAC by importing the same. Once the content is translated, the user's language, whatever they set it as part of the user profile settings, would get respected. The only condition is you need to set that specific translation language in your story or the analytics application. Let's take a close look at the demo of all of these three features, what we have.
SAP Analytics Cloud provides a wide variety of collaboration services, starting with the discussions panel, where two or more users can be included for discussions across. Within the group of users, you can as well add story links, tasks, processes, and as well attachments within this group for effective collaboration. With a wide array of commenting servers built within SAC, let's begin with the widget comments, in which you can add comments to each and every visualizations and tables in your story pages. These comments are visible to everyone who has access to the story. You can also add contextual comments at cell level over tables. Here, comments to other users are shown contextually based on their viewing context, like the point of view and the different filter combinations available within the story. We call this as data point commenting. We also introduced comment widget. You can add this widget on your page, which lives right on your page and always visible with different comments inputted by different users. Interesting thing to note here is these comments are shown contextually to the different filter selections at your story and the different page filter levels. Let's create the schedule now. We give it a name to a schedule, add a recurrence pattern starting today with a weekly recurrence pattern with an end date with 3 weeks from now. Then we choose the publication's format of type PDF, and then we add a subject and some message body over the email content. We also check mark story link to be sent over, which would send personalized bookmark view to the recipient. And finally, on the distribution, we define our publication for global leadership by adding a name and a few recipients. You can also include a team along with individual users. You can also add a non-SAC recipient. It's the user who is not registered with the SAC tenant. And then finally, you can choose the global leadership bookmark view, which needs to be sent over to these recipients. To make it more personalized, you can even add prompts as well as which pages you would like to send over to this group of recipients. Similarly, you can define for APJ leadership group with its own bookmark view with your choice of recipients and customize the page. Just to keep a change here, let's add the fifth page as well with the appendix. And that's it. Click OK. And here you have created your schedule publication to two different group of users with personalized content sent over email. Once a schedule is created, you can view the same as part of your calendar. You can see the schedule created with all the details you inputted with its recurrences in the calendar view. You can also modify the recurrence series as and when needed. We have also introduced a list view where you can see all your schedules together. If you have managed privilege under schedule publications role, Then you can view all schedules under your tenant created by different users. Let's take a look at the email as received. As we see, the email has the attachment, the message content, and the OpenStory link. Upon opening the attachment for APJ leadership, we see the KPIs available are with positive green on operating profit as we saw in the story. This publication consists of a total of 4 pages of analytics content personalized with APJ focused, with the fifth page mentioning the appendix with the different filters information. Let's take a look at the global leadership publication. We can see the KPIs for the operating profit are in red, and as well as we see this publication consists of only 3 pages as personalized for global leadership team.
SAP Analytics Cloud provides multilingual support, helping users access the same analytics content translated to different languages so that it's easy for users with different language preferences access the content easily. You can mark a story for translation and then a translator can take over and translate all the user-defined text within the analytics content to the required languages. We follow the standard XLIF export which can be used in any translation tool to translate the content. We also have a translation panel within SAC for easy translation by anyone. The translation panel is quick and easy to modify.
The profile language settings has the required settings for translations. The setting language determines what language the user wants the SAC's product's auto-generated text like application menus to be visible. The data access language determines the language settings for user-defined text as well as for live data sources like HANA and the BW. The translated data in that specific language if available. For a user, if profile language settings and the data access language settings are set as Deutsch, then that user would see the same story as in the Deutsch language preferences as we see now. For this demo, we have used a BW live data source wherein the data as well is also translated. Thank you for watching the demo.
Hope you enjoyed the demo. There are exclusive sessions dedicated towards scheduling publications called as ANA 216, and as well as another session exclusively dedicated for the different collaboration services what we have with SAP Analytics Cloud called as ANA 219. ANA 219 would be covering up not only the commenting and the discussion panel, what we saw in this session, but it will as well cover up the various other collaborative services what we have in place with SAP Analytics Cloud. And please do join me for those sessions and do learn along with me. Uh, TechEd 2020 has also got a lot of many other sessions. Please do join different other sessions as available and make your learning experience super great. Thank you for attending my session. See you in my next session.